Okay, let's continue our multiplication review. Now, these next couple of multiplication review lessons are going to be a little more challenging because, again, I started with numbers that were a little easier to remember and quicker to calculate, and these give us a little more a challenge, like I said. So we'll go over a different technique for each one and go from there. Again, for these, I encourage you to take some notes or jot things down, but as you can see, you've already got a video to refer to if you need to, but it doesn't hurt to have like a written copy of things placed in your math folder so you can just quickly reference it for some review instead of trying to search through a video. But that's up to you for this multiplication review unit that we're doing. The first facts we're going to go over the times 4 facts. Now, these are known as the double doubles, and let me explain what we mean by that. So, the strategy involves doubling the number or the factor that you're multiplying by 4 one time. Like you just multiply it by itself, and then that answer you double that again. So it's a double double. Let's look at the example I put here. It's 4 times 5. Now, you've got that 4, and it's multiplied by the factor of 5. So you double 5 to get 10, and then you double 10 to get 20. So as you know, 4 times 5 will equal 20. So if you know your 5 times facts, that one is probably pretty easy for you. But that's why I want to use a 4 times 6 here as your next example to make sure we understand that. Let's take 4 times 6. We're multiplying 4 by a factor of 6. So let's double the 6 to 12, and then double that 12 to 24. So again, you can see that we double when we multiply by 4. So again, that's just a trick to kind of keep in mind for multiplying by your 4s. The times 3 facts are a little different. This also involves doing the double, but instead of doing a double double like 4, we do a double and then we add one more, or add one more group. So let's look at an example so that makes a little more sense. So let's say you have 3 times 4. So let's take that factor of 4 and double it, which gives us 8. And then we add one more group of 4. So 8 plus 4 is 12. So you can see how we doubled it once, and then we added one more group of that factor. And let's try one that's a little more tricky, 3 times 9. Let's think of that as doubling your 9, which is 18, and then add 18 plus 9, which gives you 27. So just keep that in mind. 4s are double doubles, 3s are double plus 1. And lastly, this brings us to our times 9 facts. Now, I'm not going to go over the finger trick. That's something you've probably been taught before and have been using. You can go ahead and Google that, and there's plenty of like pictures or videos that show you how you use your 2 hands to do your times 9 facts. Instead, I'm going to be doing a more mathematical strategy here. And again, the finger trick works great, but it really is only effective for your times 9 facts, but still a handy tool to have. All right. For the 9s, we'll use what we know about the 10s, and then we will subtract one group. So it's a kind of a variation on the last strategy we learned with the 3s, but let me explain. Take, for instance, you have 9 times 3. So instead of multiplying that factor of 3 times 9, which some of you might be sitting there trying to figure out in your head, or adding 9 3 times, why don't we pretend that 9 is actually a 10, which would give us 30. But then if we subtract 3 from that, if we subtract our factor, that gives us 27. And let's try it again so we make sure we understand how to do it. Let's take 8 times 9. So instead of 8 times 9, let's pretend that 9 magically changed into a 10 to give us 80. And then we subtract our factor, which is 8, from 80 to give us 72. So with some practice, that will make sense or come a little quicker for you. You're more than welcome to try the finger trick. I see students use it all the time. Heck, I see adults using it all the time. So don't be afraid to use whatever tool necessary to get your multiplication facts. Whatever works for you works for me. All right. Now, I just want to show you what would happen now that we've done our threes, our fours, and our nines. We've knocked out almost every single multiplication problem there is. In fact, our chart is almost completely filled in. We're actually going to do that tomorrow and, completely finish up that multiplication table. But if you look, we only have 6 times 7 and 6 times 8. We have 7 times 6 and 7 times 8, and then 8 times 6, and then 8 times 7. That's all we have left. Everything else we've covered. So that's a great job by us. Your homework for Tuesday, 9/17/20, is log into Schoology, and you'll find today's assignment. You're watching this YouTube video. So make sure you get to watch the video completely all the way through as another review if you were there for the live lesson, and the videos are there if you missed lessons. And then do reflex math again for today and get that green light, your little progress bubble in the upper right hand corner for reflex. You want to make sure that's filled in full green, and that way I know that you've hit your daily goal for reflex. If you have questions, come see me during the office hours or just send me a message and I'll get right back to you.